inspire their people, share their vision with their people, and lead with change. Looking at the definition of followership and leadership. Followership and leadership are like two sides to every point. To every point, there are two sides. There can never be a leader without followers. Leadership is meaningless and leaders will not exist. Hence, better followers will get better leaders. For the leader to inspire and lead, the followers must be willing and able to inspire. And for governance is the capacity to establish and sustain workable relations between individual actors in order to promote collective goals, meaning that there is a triangulation between these three concepts: followership, leadership, and governance. For governance to be effective, followership and leadership must be in order, and there must be a smooth relationship. Now, coming to the topic, women perspective on followership, leadership, and governance in Nigeria. Why is it important? Why must we look at it from women's perspective? It is important because the value of including and considering women's point is as a result of their experiences, their contributions in various contexts. Women's perspective in politics helps to achieve balance and effective governance. There are issues that have to do with women. The men will look at it as an oversight function, but the women in politics will look at it comprehensively, and they will include all those areas that the men are marginalizing. They will include it in politics. And women's perspective enhances democracy and contributes to socio-economic and political development, as well as representation and inclusivity. It addresses gender-specific issues. When it comes to gender-specific issues, I can see my HOD was saying, why must we look at it for women? We are not competing with the men, but the men might be focusing left and right. We will be looking at it at the center. So, involving women make it comprehensive, make policies and decision comprehensive, it strengthens democratic policies, and it fosters peace and stability. However, there are challenges. You can see that lady trying to climb up. There is a glass ceiling for women, and that is why the women challenges are numerous and unsurmountable. How do we go about it? But before then, what are these challenges? We have cultural and social norms, discrimination and biases, both in our culture. It has to do with our culture, it has to do with where we are finding ourselves, the environment, the workplace. There are barriers, there are challenges, economic barriers, institutional barriers. Even in some institutions, it might be hidden, but there's challenges. Lack of education and training for women. We have to improve ourselves economically. Work-life balance support policies. We must agitate among ourselves women for role models and seek representation in political offices. Encourage participation in politics, gender policies and institutional support, education and awareness, mentorship, not between men alone, not between women alone, but even among men, there should be sponsorship and there should be mentorship. All these, and looking at this strategy, I want to say in conclusion that women's perspective on followership, leadership, and governance in Nigeria are crucial to foster more inclusive and equitable society. Despite significant challenges faced, Nigerian women continue to press further. They continue to strive for greater participation and representation in governance. Women's unique insights and experiences contribute to more holistic and effective decision-making processes. Empowering women through education, mentorship, etc., we help for enhancing roles in government. And by addressing these challenges and implementing these strategies, Nigeria can harness the full potential of women, leading to more sustainable development and social progress. Thank you very much.
Thank you for that wonderful. Let me invite Dr. Fadila Lawal from the Department of Geography. Okay. All right. Okay. Looks like I'm going to go full back.
And government either as follows, either enhances governance by introducing diverse perspectives, fostering inclusive practices and improving overall community. Female leaders such as Moreno David, among others, who have in their own perspective promoted women's political and governance chances in Nigerian civic awareness. And also, that's why the youth population of women in Nigeria are seen and represented in in fact, many countries have enacted laws and policies to increase women's.
Welcome to Alipu.
Despite the government's policy, 35% representation of women in government, the representation in Nigeria is seen as low as 4%. Thus, policy-making process in Nigeria is still dominated by men, driven by patriarchal interests and as such now is why women participate in governance processes. Women's participation will impact one, policy outcomes. Women's participation in governance can lead to comprehensive and equitable policy making, addressing the broader range of issues and perspectives. Number two, increased women representation helps ensure that interests and needs of diverse groups are considered and lead to more increase. Like somebody said that women, when they focus on life for them, women, the key focus is not about maybe clamoring for gender equality or so, but we look at things from this even in home we try to look at balance. Social change. Greater involvement of women in governance challenge traditional gender roles and contribute to other societal changes towards gender. Another reason why women participate in governance is that female leaders often serve as role models, inspiring other women, helping to break down patriarchy. The involvement of women in governance carry water management up one better health, bring about better health. Nation can ensure that proper management practices are designed to meet the health expectations of all community members and improve water access and quality, thereby leading to better health. So, also impact water management practices. Women they don't only look at women's experience from impact and lead to development. Often have different water needs and priorities compared to men. Their participation will ensure that these specific needs are addressed in water management plans. Also, including women in decision-making processes help to challenge and change existing gender norms and promote gender equality. It can also empower women by giving them a greater voice. Challenges of governance. candidates are central to gender equality. Women in Nigeria face challenges to get access to and actively participate in governance. Previous studies have identified problems such as structural barriers and institutional access, lack of support, unequal access to education and social-cultural norms. Also can hinder women participation. Radio, stereotypes about work-life balance. Balancing professional and family commitment is a significant challenge for many leaders. Especially their leadership styles. What are the strategies for enhancing participation? 1. Focus on academic action. 2. Capacity focus. Workshop type of workshop. 3. Support networks such as advocacy groups. Conclusion. In Nigeria, there is obvious disconnect that follow. Hence, inclusivity and advocacy is covered. And try to improve that ability to secure quality governance and input from followers. As such, increasing women's participation in governance and management can lead to more stable, effective, and sustainable practices, benefiting entire communities and contributing to other goals of better governance and social justice. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you. Last but not the least, Dr. Adiat Yapoda.
Good afternoon. Psychologist and presenting from the perspective of women. So I will start by looking at followership. And since I said I'm presenting as a psychologist, I'm going to talk about behavior, actions, and attitude. As a psychologist, we describe behavior, we explain behavior, and then we also predict. For many people have talked about behavior, they have talked about predictions from that data analysis. I'm just going to describe followership from the perspective of the who, the what, the why, the importance, the nature, challenges, and then the how. So, starting to describe followership from the perspective of who, like instead that just mean people, it means people that follow instructions, they support initiative, they take responsibilities for their actions, and they actually support their leaders. That's the of followership. That is like what? The behavior, the action, the attitude. If we are talking about behavior, we are just looking at it from the superficial aspect. There is more to behavior, attitude, and actions. Because behavior did not just start. It starts from the way we are trained, from our orientations, from the social-cultural training that we receive from our parents. So if we are talking about why we are talking about the works of followership, we are looking at what do they do to define them as followers. Yes, they follow instructions, they support initiatives. Those are the things they do. Their attitude, what are those things that define their attitude? It doesn't just start from just a single. And the why? Why is followership important? Why are we talking about followership? Because followership and leadership, they are interdependent. We cannot separate them. There is no any effective followers without effective, there's no effective leader without effective followers. Then let's look at the nature of followership. It's kind of like stigmatized for you to be called a follower. Nobody wants to be addressed as a follower. All of are vice chancellor, we are the president, we are all followers. So there is a kind of interconnection between a follower and a leader. So let's look at the challenges. The reason why people don't want to be addressed as a follower is that in most cases, your role, your effort is not recognized. Everything goes to the leader. It's not in most cases that you will be praised for. It's the leader that actually receives the praises. They don't recognize, they don't reward in most cases. And then sometimes our followers are met with dilemma. In a situation where a leader is doing something, and as a follower, you cannot stop because you don't want to lose your job, because you are collecting money. That's why you are getting your pay from. You cannot talk because of all these type of dilemma. It's one of the factors that is one of the challenges that is confronting followers, and people don't want to be associated as being a follower. So the how is that we have to look for strategies just like the one we are doing now. That's one of the how and make it get followers. So let's go to slide 14 because I have to jump several slides. Yeah, 14. I will talk on the psychological factors that influence women's followership behavior, their attitude, their experiences, their contributions, and their challenges. The first one is identity. How do we identify ourselves? How do we see ourselves? Some women, they cannot even define themselves socially, professionally, and those that can define themselves, their definition of the self affects their effectiveness as followers. Then, under this identity, we have self-concept. The concept of myself. How do I see myself? What is my perception of myself? Did I see myself as a person of what? If I see myself as a person of what, that's the only time I can speak up. That's the only time I can come out and say something and even criticize a leader. It depends on the way I see myself as a person who wants to stand up and talk. Then, self-esteem. How do we respect ourselves? The way we see ourselves as being important, we determine whether we speak up in a group. Then the self-efficacy is our ability to believe that I can do this. If you don't believe in yourself as a woman, that you can do something, you can't never step forward and talk. You have to believe in yourself. You have to have that self-efficacy that I will do it, I can do it. If you don't have all those self-concept, self-esteem, and all those, you cannot stand up and speak, and you can never be an effective follower. Then let's look at socialization and cultural norms, gender roles. All this has a way of making women to be whom they are. Because you have been socialized in a way that you are prepared, that you are supposed to just be a leader, you are supposed to take care of the children, you are supposed to be a wife. All these are factors that has affected women to be effective followers. Attachment styles, the way a person is raised, determine the way they will be attached. So this kind of attachment style determine the way they will behave in a group. Then emotional labor, being able to demonstrate a kind of emotion while you are feeling something else. Because if you are sad as a woman and you are able to demonstrate the kind of emotion that is expected for you, that is emotional labor. Being able to hold your own emotion and behave according to what is expected of you. Empathy, looking at things from the other person's perspective, having feeling for the other person, emotional intelligence, being able to manage your own emotion and intelligence. Then group dynamics, the structure of a group determine how effective women will be. Whatever role that is structured for women determines how effective a follower they are going to be. So let's go to the next slide. Then cultural and intersectional barriers. Like if you are Igbo, you are Yoruba, you are in, like we are in Ilorin now, a Muslim-dominated environment. So if you are Christian, or maybe because majority of people in Ilorin think they are Yoruba people and you as an Igbo person just go. Because you don't belong, you are not really from that place. It will definitely affect your ability. It will just influence because your own faith, your personal trait is actually there. It will actually affect the way which you can come out and speak. Then this collaborative and relational skill is unique to women. We like to do well, collaborative skills, and have good relationship. Then economic consideration and land helplessness is another factor why women are not effective followers. If you don't have money of your own, you don't have life of your own, you cannot have the confidence to come out and talk. Land helplessness, you don't have options. You are somewhere, maybe you are married to an abusive, you are in an abusive marriage. How will you speak up? You are helpless. This land helplessness is after trying to get yourself out of a situation, you cannot come out. Then that will affect your self-esteem and the how you think that you can speak, you can criticize, you can challenge a leader or you can support. So group identity and belonging, this one is a psychological need that everybody tries to satisfy.
We want to be identified with a group and we want to belong according to Abraham Maslow. In fact, it's a need that everybody here try to satisfy. That's why we are all here. Because we struggle, we work for it to belong to this group and to this setting today. We are not just, we did not find ourselves here accidentally. It was because of our need and our belongingness need, which is biological. That is why we are here today. Then let's look at the challenges facing women, gender bias, stereotype, label, then limited opportunity for advancement. Like Dr. Said before, that we don't even have mentorship. We don't have people up there that we can look at. No female has ever become president of Nigeria. So in what way will I say I want to become a president? I've not seen anybody, I've not seen a woman there. So there's no way that even if I think about it, I will be thinking of the barriers that is not going to be possible. So this kind of this type of limited opportunity for advancement, then balancing multiple roles. We know we women, we are wives, we are mothers, and then we have to combine that with our activities. And the time we do that, the time we are supposed to build career to become effective followers, that's the time that we are grown, we are getting married, we are even giving them to children, training children, and so on and so forth. So, psychological benefit of followership is that it gives empowerment and growth, just like this one that we are doing here. Then it also gives us a sense of belonging. Then, enhancing women's followership behavior. We should have inclusive policy, like the gender equality and all that has been implemented. Then we should have mentorship program. We should have women there that mentor us. Then we should have women that we look up to. Then training and development, just like this one as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We are very proud of all the women represented. I think we are satisfied with not protest everyone. Now, let me also invite the representative of the students. I see like that the president of the faculty student association, Ayodeji Abisola Christian.
Thank you very much for this debate. So I would like to talk on students as followers for systemic change. How students can serve as followers for systemic change. Leaders do not drop from heaven. It is also accepted as a fact that leaders are there because they are followers. It is from followers that leaders emerge. Two different types of processes and procedures. Therefore, followership refers to the behaviors, actions, and attitudes of individuals who follow a leader within an organization or group. It is the reciprocal process of leadership and focuses on the role of followers in supporting, influencing, and interacting with leaders. This means that this concept recognizes that effective leadership demands not only on the qualities and action of leaders, but also on the responses and contributions of followers. So this means that to recognize the impact of leaders in the society, especially when it comes to students, the qualities and actions of the leaders will also determine the responses and contributions of the students. Whenever we have leaders that they have opinions that they can give to us, but then the followers are not there to respond. This means that there is no form of responsiveness from the followers down to the leader. The followers are not there to accept the priorities that the leaders are bringing to the table. So these are the ways whereby students can actually serve as followers for systemic change. First, engaging students as followers for systemic change involves harnessing their energy, creativity, and willingness to challenge the status quo. Here are some strategies. The first one is education and awareness. Curriculum education, that is, education of topics related to systemic change, social justice, and civic responsibility into the curriculum. So they don't just want to be academic environment to learn about physics, to learn about geography, to learn about microbiology. But there should be inclusion of some other courses like social justice, civic responsibility that can actually inculcate systemic change, even right from their learning environment. Then also awareness. Students can raise awareness about social and environmental issues, mobilizing their peers and communities to take action in whatever institution it is facing the student community. For instance, now we have a project that is ongoing in the Nigerian community. But then, a way whereby the students can serve as a system of change is that they also can actually influence their peers in form of being aware of whatever it is that is happening within the society. Once they are aware of it, they can pick up a movement or a system that can actually help them to challenge whatever it is that they are facing. Then also, they can organize workshops and seminars to raise awareness about systemic issues and the importance of collective action. Also, in terms of student councils, action and advocacy. Student councils encourage active participation in student environments, where we have the students and committees, where they can voice their opinions and propose changes. Invite students to actively participate in decision-making processes, that is meetings and conferences, just like something like this. Actions that will take place in terms of campaigns. Student student-led campaigns and movements that advocate for policy changes and addressing system issues. Also, in form of service learning, incorporate service learning projects that allow students to work on real-world programs and contribute to their solutions. Also, in terms of advocacy from the aspect of the students can advocate for policy changes, participating in campaigns and movements that promote systemic change. Students can develop leadership skills, becoming effective change agents and inspiring others to follow. Also, students can amplify marginalized voices, ensuring that diverse perspectives are heard and valued in the pursuit of systemic change through their advocacy. In terms of collaboration, partnerships, that is, from partnerships with local communities, NGOs, and other organizations working towards systemic change. That is, when we have some non-governmental organizations and even some governmental organizations, we have some other systemic change. So one student can go hand in hand with these organizations or communities. I think this one will be very interesting for the student companies. Then also peer networks. Foster peer networks and mentorship programs where students can support and learn from each other. Then also in terms of support and resources. Access to resources. Provide access to resources such as funding, spaces for meetings, and materials needed for campaigns and projects. In terms of mentorship, offer mentorship from faculty, alumni, and community leaders to guide students in their initiatives. Then also in terms of reflection and feedback, there should be regular reflection in the sense that it encourages regular reflection sessions where students can discuss their experiences, challenges, problems, and also think about solutions to whatever problems and challenges that they are facing. Feedback mechanism, that is, establish feedback mechanism to continually improve students' engagement strategies. Then also, in terms of sustainable engagement, there should be long-term projects which will ensure continuity and sustain impact in the students' society. Then lastly, we have alumni involvement. Engage alumni in ongoing initiatives to maintain momentum and support new student leaders. In conclusion, understanding followership is crucial for creating a balanced and effective leadership dynamics, where both leaders and followers contribute to achieving common goals. By embracing these goals, students can become powerful followers for systemic change, driving positive transformation in their communities and beyond. Students can be effectively engaged in their communities, then also they can be effectively engaged as followers and leaders in systemic change, fostering a culture of active citizenship and social responsibility. Thank you all for listening.
Thank you. That was fantastic. Though she didn't use the female slot, it's by coincidence that she's a female. Yes. She happens to be the first female president of the faculty student association. And she's thank you very much. Now, on this note, we want to move to general discussion, and we will have Professor Asubuke Onumora to anchor the general discussion. You can see that, sir.
Thank you so much. It's been an interesting day. I think all of us here, we are all happy to be able to respond. And listening from the paper, I'll just try to do a quick recap and raise the thoughts that have raised my mind from the presentation. And while I was sitting by the general, he asked me, how do we change it? What is the practicality of these ideas that we share? And I'll tell us something that we've spoken about followership, and I think we have constrained ourselves to talk about the loyal followership, and we have destructive followership. What are the factors that lead to destructive followership? And as a legal jurisprudence person, I would ask, can a destructive followership become illegal? I was over the period of last week part of the workshop somewhere in Southern Africa, and I was talking about legal mobilization, legal consciousness, and the struggle theory. We are talking about followership. My psychologists have told us about followership. when I educate that Igbo lady and give her the consciousness to understand her right of place, how can she demand it? I want to put my president on the spot. If we reduce Nigeria to University of Ilorin and the management is not doing things properly, can we still have a student followership that can stand up and demand for the change? Can followers be caged and narrowed into a space where they become so scared that they become zombies, like Fela was referred to by General Williams? As zombies followers, are they not? I will leave you to ask the president and make your evaluation. So I'll take 3 questions in the first batch. We'll take 2 batches. 3 questions. So please don't give us another presentation. Just keep it short. Please, short and simple. So, okay, with 1, Prof, and then, okay, so I'll take that. I saw it and you remembered it. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes. Very short, please.
Okay, thank you, sir. My question is, we are talking about
name, please. Introduce yourself.
My name is Dr. Adeleke. So, friend of the okay, thank you. So my question is, when I look at Prof, in general, that if you are to be born again, if you are to come back to this world, we would prefer to be born in Namibia rather than Nigeria here. So, and I said, and I read it online, if that is true about what he said then I discovered that even Nigeria here, from here, you have some one side of how to do about good governance, and the leaders, they are not ready. You have given 3, 4, or 5 reasons why this should be done the way it should be, but the leader will give you 500 reasons why this should not be done that way. You as a follower, what can you do? Will you keep quiet, or you see just like what is going on in the country? So that's my question.
Okay, so that question is for the Williams. Okay, but let's take the second question. We'll take the 4 questions before we take the answer. So just note your question and pass the mic. Yes.
Thank you very much. I am Professor Roger. By the time that the presentation went on break, I engaged there are some attention at the end of the chair. And the idea is we are thinking about followership, we are thinking about leadership. Have we ever thought about the genesis and the change of followership? Was followership in Nigeria like this earlier on, or we are born with this present character? And there, I said, the word education is construed generally. Traditional education is missing, and as such, many of us do not. Even when we know our right, we are scared to do justice. The 3 musketeers we are mentioning here, we think that just because we feel promotion in the university should be by promotion, not by appointment. Because it gives room for whatever comes in and goes in. But for good 5 years, some of us took advance to say no, it must be promotion as entrenched until it came. But behold, a lot of our mates were running away from us because they saw us as different individuals. So when we are coming, they say, so what I'm saying now is, followership would have been stronger if actually the individual of us knows why we are following
the identity of followership. What happens when you decide to be a real follower? Will you look behind you and other followers are gone and you see the only man standing? From the military perspective, what will happen to such an individual when you all decide to follow and then you turn around and nobody again is reviewing your lives?
Thank you very much. I wanted to meet with General Williams. The second time I met him after a long period of time visiting.
I used to visit Mina when my senior brother was major. And
the director while in the barrack, there was a rumor that friends custom. Somebody was very tight to me that General Williams is a very good friend of the Prime Minister. Good mom, I go and meet him. He can assist me get placement in the custom. When I got to his office and tell them I see. General Williams said, I don't belong to the custom. Go to
I went home and reflected.
Out of the world, very professional things. I went home and reflected. I don't know what cost go to academics. And I went there. So I think God used you. I want to thank you for that word. Last time I went to the Lord in America.
That raises the question of responsiveness in followership.
So maybe I can say that I was a follower there. And that today, so I think
I want to go with the things, semantic being which she provided, talking about critical thinking, constructive criticism,
informed decision. And sincerely, that has been with us in social sciences. That's why over time, on the recent, when probably I've said when Professor Again became the VC, and the VC now, who I say is our friend, the leadership of always seen us as people who are always against administration. I'm not just president because of critical thinking mode and also will criticize constructively. And I think that model should be, a model to look into and to be followed by everybody who wants to be followed. Thank you very much.
That's very important that we reflect on people. But again, since you are to that graph, the question I would also want to ask is, can critical thinking become disruptive?
It could. When
we get there, when we get there.
I try to examine both sides, critically and scientifically. And I'm coming up with the fact that we get even the leaders followers. And both sides, they have their own challenges. How do we get a good follower that is not selfish, a follower that is not selfish? Because some followers, out of their own selfishness, they are going to use some other family to achieve their own need, like going into religion and tribal issues. Then, with leadership, how are we going to get organizations to respect excellence? So I'm thinking a little to the left, a little to the right. Why don't we consider mind change, effect mind change at both sides? why I want to support the psychologists. If you can make people to think rightly, followers will follow well, and the leaders will also live well.
Give us intervention, start from general, and then we move on around. Yeah, because from what you said again, I remember my many days in social classes where we say that the human mind is not a tabula, right? It's confused. Something places an impression on it. So how do we have a mindset? How much does the society that we repeat the people behind us fashion our mindset? Because this is also important in our way of followership.
Very important to me. But my questions have not been answered. We have done the academic aspect of it, followership, governance, and all that. How do we stop the money bag? There has to be a system that is made to stop the money bag. Because even after your university degree, you got a first class, your local government chairman, the villagers will not vote for you. If someone has more money to give to people, and you are talking English. The second point is about women. Women would like to be in governance. And we think what they can do and what they should do. How do we get them there? The woman has to leave the husband and the children and travel around the local government and the state to campaign. If I visited to deliver a letter, and I just come out for a room, I just come out. Women have this problem, so what should we do? I am interested in solutions because we know the problems. Even this thing going on now, and people protesting. If we had addressed them 3 days before the protesting, we probably might not have 10 people or 20 people dead. It is after people have died, like the Civil War, that we start to do things. That's my question. How do we do it? I need an answer.
Thank you. I mean, this question is coming again for us. And while I was speaking, I think we missed something in all the presentation. Sexual impact. When a woman follows and becomes harassed, what is the question? Can a woman follow without being harassed? I'm just asking questions. I don't have social science.
Well done, everybody. I am not against feminism, but at the same time, I am opposed to Eurocentrism, natural sex. I don't know if I'm making part. Looking at issue of gender from European perspective, I think it is extreme. How do you find the balance between physiological nature and emotional elements of a human? These are having to be actively involved or engaged in politics on equal basis and in equal ways as we are the counterparts. How do you balance that? And how do you balance the issue of value? That the right of our cultural setting or our ethical setting with that of as defined by our culture and religion. We have allow the 70 perspectives to undermine
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This question, I'm sure the dean will weigh in on that. But myself, I am someone who doesn't support the eccentric arguments because we've moved from there. Think of the phenomenons of this world. Gender and societal definition of gender roles go a long way to limit and inhibit. I'm not sure what it has been, but I'm sure social sciences is enjoying the deanship of Professor Method. I'm not sure what it has been, but I am sure for the fact that they are having a fourth female president in the student body. It's a testament that mine is not all about strength. But I will leave the resource person, the psychologist, and my geographer and all that to get into those questions. But the question that has been asked is, in followership and leadership, to what extent should we allow gender spaces limit the attainment of spaces and assumption of rules? If I've summarized that very well. Thank you. General Williams.
I just want to introduce two challenges, or two or three challenges. Number one, if you notice what is happening with this followership and leadership dynamics, in the Western countries, people are becoming disappointed with their leadership. And as a sort of one movement politically, from whatever direction to the opposite direction, what they call the rightist nationalist movement in Europe and Trump movement in America. What does that show you? And that means that in the climate movement in Europe, most of the movements have no leaders. Because what they said is that when you appoint a leader takes advantage of the movement to benefit. And therefore, and the management they call it flat structure. So American companies are operating with that. Many are not back to where they are because they have to consequences. But they are there. They say they have to go outside. They are when you come to women issue. They are something like equality in the world, nothing. It's impossible. Look at this index. Look at the structure of human being. It is impossible. What you are looking for is equity. Equity is a different story than equality. Okay? Having said that, there's also a challenge that's going on now. In Europe, China, America, they are begging women to have more children. They are begging them practically. In fact, President Putin of Russia just announced a few days ago. And the Americans are the Canadians. We are not. And it's very important challenge. I remember when some young people used to say they want to study demography. I said one day you will find out what's the problem for the world. Because I've told me the Western concept and ways of living, we do start talking the same problem. We start talking the problem. We are the that the last challenge I also want to say is that when you look at the whole world now economically, everybody is confused. Everybody is confused. Nobody has an answer to the global economic problem. And in fact, they are moving from what we call almost having a big problem with the World Trade Organization we're there. Because everybody is practicing what they call protectionism. I want to protect my trade, and I want to produce what I can do for my own instead of depending on them. Which other trade system that we need to know. That would allow Africa to prosper. But then it's not. And unfortunately for Africa, Africa is so dependent. And in a dangerous way, in which or depend on foreign donors to help them. Universities, when you are looking for social grants, you are looking overseas. Remittances that are coming to help their poor parents and everything is coming from abroad. Where are you, Africa? Think.
I'm happy that we are asking more questions and having more answers. And Jim, I think you will be speaking last, because I think it calls for us to go back to the drawing board. And as academic thinkers, we have now actually use it to develop our papers so that they will be impactful. The question of investment, we know the thing we call the voucher funds. When the funds come through NGOs, they tell us what we need to do. Are we really playing a script, or are we right in trying to emancipate women? So you see, this concept has now gone into followership and the gender space. So should women be perpetual followers, or should they also be? Let's go to my president, and then I'll come this way. No, yes. It's an academic speech, you don't need to just. Yeah, so the question from your presentation is talked about how women can be involved, students, female students can be involved in leadership. And then I'm asking what you think about that student followership group in a system where do you feel a system can cage followership, that the followership becomes self-made? You're just following because you have to follow.
Yes, sir. The system of leadership can actually shape the followership. So I will use our university as an instance. So in this university, one thing is that students cannot protest whatever it is that we understand the fact that the student unionism was formerly student union government. It is now student union without government.
Go ahead with the academic space, I'm sure.
We see other schools like Obafemi Awolowo, University of Ibadan, whereby they protest and do, they react whenever there are issues or challenges coming from school that happens to be leaders, school management. So my hope is that in this our university, we always following whatever it is that the school, there's the administration of management wants. So even if the management is going let's say from student perspective, let's say the wrong way from me, we don't have to follow. Even if they are going towards the right way that will shape the students, we don't have to follow, because we know that we can't say anything. That even if we say anything, our voices will not be heard like the way students in other institutions, the way their voices are heard. So in terms of leadership, how we can actually shape the followership, it has really gone a long way. It goes a long way. It goes a long way, because students that are not free to do whatever it is that they want to do, students that are not free to do whatever it is that they feel like be okay, be good, definitely they cannot, they have to succumb to whatever it is that the school is bringing to them. So it's actually going very long way.
So are we still going to describe guided and a lot of followership as followership?
Thank you very much. You see, this is from women's perspective. We are advocating for equality, like I said. We are not advocating for equality. Having the opportunity to give equal resources to perform. And this means sensitization. Because the followership leadership relationship, like I said, is triangulated. We without leaders, there cannot be over. And the leaders are coming from over. We appointed them, but the moment they get there, we cannot put them accountable. So I will also go in line, if I have to direct the leads towards General Estamate, that we have to watch them go through the ladder. For our leadership, we have to watch them go through the ladder. There should be gradual development to get to the top. Because we have seen that the moment we are appointing or elected and they get to the top, they are not accountable. So what do we do about it? There must be other strategies that have to be put in place.
Have you found any with them?
Like I said, sensitization. Initially, we used to say sensitization from the bottom, but now it has to be from the top down to the bottom. Because we are trying from the bottom to no work. So we have to our leaders. Because most of the time when you read the newspapers, they say the House of Assembly members cut their salary. You are not paid staff, and people are getting for minimum wage, and you are getting billions. So this issue of sensitization cannot go from the bottom. It has to be from the top to the bottom. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Well, General Nabil said that how do we ensure that women, how do they No, we raise two issues that one, the women, how do we ensure they get into well, like I said during the course of my presentation that there's some using the quota system or the affirmative action. There's something they call it alliance affirmative action that at least in Nigeria we are going 35% representation of women. If there can be proper implementation of that, that's one. Two, Professor Ola was saying I want to make the point that if women leaders can be in a position, if we change the mindset of others and they can serve as they can be like example for others for it. And I feel that will also change the mindset of other women and things are probably
When you were talking about affirmative action, I saw Professor Dyer shaking his head. I wouldn't know if he was agreeing or if he was. So we are still looking for the solution. Yes.
Okay, I will talk about the land investment center that can follow up on the less expensive that can be able to take action. So in the course of preparing for this lecture, I downloaded one of the videos about followership and leadership. So a lecturer came to the class and asked his student to pick her book and leave the class, and if she the last time she come to that class. And the girl said, am I the one you are talking to? The man said yes. She asked for the second time, the man said yes. And she picked her bag and left. And the lecture continued for like 5 minutes. The lecturer now asked that why are not stage? He asked the member of the class. He now said for social justice, so they mentioned a lot of reasons, but one of them said justice. He now said, what I did to your classmate now, is it just? All of them said no. Why did you be quiet? Why did you not speak when I asked her word? He was teaching critical thinking, and he said critical thinking is very important factor to build effective followership and leadership. That leaders should challenge. Even if people think the leader is not doing the right thing, you shouldn't be helpless. You shouldn't feel helpless to the extent that you will not be able to talk. So it is possible that people can feel helpless to the extent that you will not to begin. There was another video I watched from another country. Students come to the school in the morning. There is a way in which their teachers, they will ask them to pick an option of how they want to relate to their teacher. Some of them, they can pick that they want to be held, the teacher will hold them. They might pick that they want to pick the teacher in a different way. That is a way in which the students get familiar to their teacher. In the morning, they interact with their teacher, they embrace their teacher in a way. There's no way such students will not be able to speak when they are supposed to speak. So this has to start from grassroots. We don't have limited university training because before people come to the university, they already have this orientation of the kind of followership in Nigeria that you have to live by, or when you are playing, you are fighting for something, you just discover that when you are in the forefront, you don't see any other person behind you. It doesn't start from the university environment. We still have to take this training down to the grassroots. And like ambassador said, and psychological costs to address that. We have to address the benefit, the motivation that motivates people to follow. Thank you.
What is the constitutional way to change the government that is unconstitutional when they hijack our general as Dilma? Let's keep it brief so that we'll take the last round of reactions and then we'll go around again and end.
My learned professor, I don't know what to say, but let me just start. One, as a woman being, I am not a feminist. I have never been one, and I will never be. I will tell you that this position of dean, I did not get